Welcome to Fantasy Legends, my name's Scott, and today we're going to be looking at Tales of Rise, the demo, the features, also news about the frame rates compared to the Xbox and the PlayStation, and finally Bandai Namco have answered whether there's going to be censorship on the PlayStation 5. So before we get into it, please remember to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I would really appreciate it. Now let's get on with the video. As reported by WCC Tech, they have tested it and they reckon that the PlayStation 5 runs about 5 to 10 frames per second slower than the Xbox when you're out in the field fighting. This only really seems to affect the 4K mode, so if you're playing in 4K then you might notice a slight difference. Now, I don't think this is all doom and gloom, to be honest with you, as this is only a demo, and probably there's a few tweaks that they need to do in the PlayStation 5, and I'm sure they will sort it out, as they are advertising 60 FPS on the PlayStation 5 platform. We also got to see a few new gameplay features in the demo, which I actually thought were really great and add a sort of flair to the series that I think has been lacking recently in terms of the new games like Tales of Berseria, for example. The first feature I want to talk about is the boost attacks. Now, each character gets a different boost attack. Alpen gets his fire sword that deals break damage. Sinon gets a strike down on aerial enemies, for example. But each one has a unique set of skills, and it really does allow you to use the whole party. I think it's a great way to not exclude people from the party so that you feel like every character is needed. I don't know how this will translate to the rest of the game, and maybe some characters will be much more meta than other characters if you play that way. However, it is a nice change to have everyone with a specific skill and a specific need. It just makes them more effective on certain enemies, and like I said, just makes you want to switch up your team more. The second feature I would like to talk about is the boost strikes. These are cooperative attacks that only activate when enemies are low and you have been fighting really well. I really like these attacks as they seem to reward good gameplay, and it also gives you an incentive to play the way the developers want you to play in that terms. Also, what I really liked about them is that, again, they include more of the party because they're cooperative attacks. I just think it's nice to include more members in the party. I'm all about teamwork with these games. Right, another game mechanic that this one I'm not too sure on is the cure points. Now, this one, obviously, you can use them to heal your party and restore their health, which is obvious being cure points. However, they don't recover just walking around and, you know, just over time. You actually have to rest in inns or camps to even get them. I'm not too sure if I really liked this mechanic, to be honest with you. I would have much liked it to be on a timer, so then you didn't feel like you had to go to an inn every single time you wanted to get your CP up. A feature that's been updated for Tales of Rise is the skit feature. Now, I actually really liked this. I've heard a few people saying they're not really in favour of the changes and it doesn't feel like a Tales game with the new skits. However, I liked the way that each player sort of zoomed in on a picture as they spoke, and then obviously the next picture would come up as the next person spoke. I sort of found it more dynamic and you sort of got more of a lively feel about it. I did really enjoy the new skits. Now, this game wouldn't be a Tales game without the cooking mechanic, and I found this quite in-depth compared to some of the other cooking mechanics in the earlier games, and I really did enjoy it. You got quite a few buffs, and even if you chose the specific person when you decided to cook, you could even unlock skits, which I found quite nice. Now, the last thing I would like to go over is the supposed rumours that there is a censorship that might be done on the Tales of Rise game on the PlayStation console. Now, these rumours seem to originate from 4chan, where a post claimed that the game would be censored worldwide on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. Now, the post on 4chan claimed that censorship would make multiple female costumes less risque, removing the hot springs from the game and all associated costumes to do with that, and also removing any sexually implied dialogue from the game. This included any male characters as well, actually, and also asking other male characters if they were flirting with him, just things like that, basically. Anything with a flirty nature would be removed from the game, according to this post. Now, the original post doesn't really have a lot of, hard evidence to back up these claims. However, obviously, due to the nature of Sony lately and their censorship spree with even their own IPs, people were starting to believe that this was actually a true fact, that this is actually happening. However, finally, Bandai Namco has answered and responded to these allegations, and they have said basically to Xbox Dynasty in an interview that Bandai Namco Entertainment will release the games without altering anything from the story or features in the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. So I hope that puts some of the fans to rest in terms of, worrying about censorship, worrying about the game being changed and affecting the experience that they would get. So that's all the news I've got for you regarding the Tales Arise today. Please let me know in the comments down below if you're playing the demo and how you're finding it. Is it a good addition to the Tales series? Are you finding the changes a bit too much? Would you prefer the older games? Please let me know. Please remember to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you for listening.